Good afternoon. You can also listen to us on live stream on www.radionigeriaibadan.gov.ng or watch us live on Facebook at Premier FM 93.5. You can also join us on X, that's on PFM 935 Ibadan. Public infrastructure is for the benefit of all citizens. Desist from destroying it. And now the news in full. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shuaibu, has charged senior commanders of the Nigerian Army to demonstrate strategic foresight, professional competence, and exemplary leadership in confronting increasingly complex insecurity facing the country. Lieutenant General Shuaibu gave the charge while declaring open the second Senior Command and Leadership Seminar 2026 at Headquarters 1, Division Nigerian Army, Kaduna. The seminar themed Strategic Leadership for Effective Command in an Evolving Security Environment brings together senior commanders and resource persons to strengthen leadership capacity, share operational experiences, and develop practical approaches to contemporary command challenges. Lieutenant General Shuaibu said contemporary military success depends not only on battlefield superiority, but also on credibility, public confidence, and effective leadership. He noted that terrorism, insurgency, banditry, transnational organized crime, cyber threats, disruptive technologies, and information warfare have continued to reshape the security environment. He also urged commanders to remain intellectually agile and operationally innovative while exercising sound judgment in conditions of uncertainty.
The Nigeria Police Force, Oyo State Command, has paraded 13 suspects, including those involved in buying and selling human parts for ritual purposes, and others who involved in cross-border car theft after they stole a 2017 model SUV from a couple's residence in Ilorin, Kwara State. Correspondent Abisola Oluremi was at the police headquarters Eleyele Ibadan, venue of the parade.
One of the suspects who later reported the case to the police, Nuruddin Abdulganiyu, said he was given human bone and fried egg to mix together, swallow, and become wealthy. However, after carrying out the instruction without achieving the promised wealth, he reportedly lodged a complaint at a police station in Shaki, which led to an investigation and the subsequent arrest of 9 other suspects allegedly linked to the activity. In a recent development, 3 suspects involved in the theft and movement of a SUV Lexus RS 350 2017 model from Ilorin, Kwara State were paraded. One of them, Aliu Rabiu, an ex-convict and a resident of Parakou around Nigeria's semi-border, said he only assisted them to drive the car to the border.
I collected the stolen vehicle to assist them to take to the Nigeria border, where another person will collect from me to sell. Though I'm an ex-convict convicted for selling stolen motorcycle.
Another suspect, Adewale Abiola, said he recently met the suspect at a joint in Lagos and they always buy drinks and food for him. He said further that he was invited to come with them to Ilorin without knowing their true mission.
I
did not know. I always demand money from them because we live in the same area. So, last week, they requested I follow them to Ilorin to bring a car to Ibadan. After picking the car, when we got to Geri Alimi, some police officers accosted us and started shooting. That is when it dawned on me that it was a stolen vehicle.
Also, Kabiru Awobarin explained that he met the prime suspect at Abolongo prison in Oyo State and they have been working together since then.
I used to be a driver. I've been in Abolongo prison where I met the person that led me to the act of stealing. I collected the car from the owner. I waited for others at the gate of the house where we stole the car. When they later came out, we took the SUV and drove off. I have stolen more than 5 cars within a year.
Meanwhile, The command has commenced Operation Velvet, a strategic enforcement exercise aimed at enhancing the security of lives and property and ensuring compliance with relevant road traffic regulations across the state beginning from today. The Commissioner of Police, CP Olugbenga Bimbola, stressed that the exercise is strictly for lawful enforcement and not to be used to harass or extort members of the public. In Ibadan, Abisola Oluremi, Radio Nigeria.
The Deputy Chairman of the Oyo State Council of Obas and Chiefs and Olugbo of Orile-Igbo, Oba Francis Olushola has urged rural fathers in Surulere local government area to embrace peace to foster development in their domains. Oba Olushola is also the permanent chairman, Council of Obas and Chiefs in Surulere local government area, made the call during a visit to the Oromiyan of Okoland, Oba Solomon Akinola. The Olugbo described peace as an ingredient of development and appealed to the traditional rulers to unite for the growth and the development of the council.
Let us all reason together. It does not say that Olugbo, you alone should reason together. Olugbo cannot unilaterally develop or bring Surulere forward.
Oba Olushola said the visit to the palace of the Oromiyan of Okoland was aimed to renewing their relationship, adding that similar visits would be extended to other royal fathers in the local government. Earlier, the Oromiyan of Okoland, Oba Solomon Akinola, expressed delight over the visit, saying it would further deepen the relationship between the two traditional institutions.
The Nigerian Medical Association (NMA) has urged doctors to take the lead in the fight against quackery and unethical practices in the health sector. The NMA president, Professor Afekide Omoti, made the call in Abuja at the association's first ordinary National Executive Council meeting of the new National Officers Committee for 2026. Professor Omoti stressed that efforts to protect patients must begin with maintaining the highest professional standards within the medical professions. The NMA president identified quackery and professional misconduct as major threats to patient safety and the credibility of the health system. He added that the fight against quackery must remain a major priority for the medical practitioners, stressing that doctors must equally examine their own conduct and professional standards. The meeting, which brought together medical practitioners, senior members of the profession, government officials, and other stakeholders, has as its theme transforming healthcare practice in Nigeria, building trust, accountability, and collaborative excellence.
Sleep is an essential part of everyday life, giving the body and brain the time to rest, recover, and prepare for another day. However, some people getting quality sleep is a persistent challenge. Difficulty falling asleep, frequent walking, waking up, loud snoring, nightmares, pauses in breathing during sleep, or excessive daytime sleepiness may be signs of a sleep disorder. In this special report, our correspondent Moyoluwa Afolabi examines the causes of sleep disorders and their impact on overall health.
Sleep is not simply a period when the body shuts down. It is an important time when the body and brain recover. Hormones are regulated, memories are consolidated, and energy is restored. Persistent problems with falling asleep, staying asleep, waking too early, or experiencing poor quality sleep may indicate a sleep disorder. Some residents of Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, who experience sleep-related problems, shared their experiences and how the condition affects their daily lives.
Anytime I'm unable to sleep well, it's actually to disturb my next day activities.
I don't usually sleep. I will just be rolling up and down on my bed. So I will just carry my Bible. I used to look for sleep as if I'm looking for what I will use to cook soup.
When I'm overstressed, I find it difficult to to sleep sometimes. When I have a program, I need to handle a conference, and I spend up to 1 week without up to 5 hours hours sleep. So the system gets used to it, and even after the conferences, I find it very difficult to maintain a very good habit.
What then are the factors responsible for sleep disorders? A medical practitioner at the Federal Medical Center, FMC, Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, Dr. Gbemileke Arigbede, identified alcohol intake, stress, breathing disorders, inappropriate use of medications, heart diseases, pregnancy, and changes associated with the female menstrual cycle are some of the factors that may affect the quality of sleep. Dr. Arigbede, however, stressed that persistent sleep problems should not be ignored, noting that poor quality sleep could have serious consequences for an individual's overall health.
For someone who was not able to rest well in the night, it is normal that the person will be cranky during the day. There's going to be poor decision making. There will be poor concentration at work. The immune system of the person will be weakened.
Another medical expert and psychiatrist in Ibadan, Dr. Taiwo Okunade, maintained that inadequate sleep could contribute to mental health problems, including anxiety and depression, while also increasing the risk of inappropriate use of medications. Dr. Okunade emphasized that adequate quality sleep plays an important role in memory, concentration, and other cognitive functions.
When I remember something, it's because I was able to recall it. Now, if there's a sleep disorder, those processes can be disturbed. So people that have sleep problems, they have a problem recalling things, they have a problem encoding memory.
Dr. Okunade added that the treatment of sleep disorders begins with identifying and addressing the underlying cause of the particular sleep problem.
One of the most effective treatments for sleep disorder is what we call cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia. We do the CBTI, which is cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia. We address underlying mental health issues. We help that person with the lifestyle change that is required.
The psychiatrist called on government at all levels to formulate and implement national sleep health policies, increase public awareness about the importance of quality sleep, and incorporate sleep medicine into medical, nursing, and allied health curricula. He also called for the training of primary healthcare workers to recognize and screen for suspected sleep disorders, recognizing the warning signs and seeking appropriate medical attention could therefore be an important step towards protecting both physical and mental well-being. In Ibadan, Moyioluwa Afolabi for Radio Nigeria.
This is The World Today. The stories that made the headlines so far. Chief of Army Staff has urged commanders to strengthen efforts to combat insecurity. NMA tasked doctors on fight against quackery. Still to come, President Trump orders lowering of flags to honor Dolly Parton's death. And stakeholders caution athletes against performance-enhancing drugs.
You're still on to The World Today, reaching you on the Southwest Network of Radio Nigeria, as we now go to other stories for the day. United States President Donald Trump has ordered American flags across the country to be lowered for 1 week to honor the death of a country music icon, Dolly Parton. President Trump described her death as a true loss for millions of people. Parton, who rose from humble beginnings in Tennessee to become one of country music's most celebrated singer-songwriters, had a career spanning more than 6 decades. Report says she sold more than 100 million records globally and became known as the Queen of Country, with hits including Jolene, 95, and I Will Always Love You. Parton wrote more than 3,000 songs and won 11 Grammy Awards. She was also a successful actor, appearing in films including 9 to 5, The Best Little War House in Texas, Still Nigglious, and Joyful Noise. She was born on January 19, 1946 in a two-room log cabin on the banks of the Little Pigeon River in Tennessee. Parton was the fourth of 12 children. Parton began performing as a child, and by the age of 14, she had appeared on local radio and television in East Tennessee, performed at the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, and recorded her first single, Puppy Love. After graduating from high school in 1964, she moved to Nashville the following day and began establishing herself as a songwriter. Parton's death was reportedly announced by her nephew, Brian Silva, on Instagram yesterday. Dolly Parton died yesterday at the age of 80. May her gentle soul continue to rest in peace.
Okay, amen to that. And still on Dolly Parton's death, American singer Beyonce has paid a heartfelt tribute to the country music icon Dolly Parton, who died yesterday at the age of 80, prompting an outpouring of tributes from across the entertainment world. According to a statement posted on Beyonce's official website, she said she was honored to have worked with Parton and would treasure it forever. Beyonce and Parton collaborated on the singer's 2024 album Cowboy Carter, and Parton appeared on the interlude titled Dolly P and contributed to the track Tyrant. Another music icon, Taylor Swift, said Parton spent her time on Earth and changed countless lives through her philanthropy. Swift said Parton possessed the softest heart when it came to the struggles of others and a backbone of steel to defend our own self-worth as an artist. Sir Elton John also described Parton as a giant of an artist, unique and irreplaceable, with the kindest heart, noting that he was shocked and devastated by the news of her death. Sir Paul McCartney, who collaborated with Parton on a cover of Let It Be for her Rockstar album, said the magnificent Dolly Parton would be forever missed. In her tribute, Oprah Winfrey said that Parton brought the light, and they are all better because she was here.
It is a serious concern that some athletes turn to make use of performance-enhancing and other psychoactive substances in their pursuit of success in sports, putting their health and careers at risk. The drive to win, combined with competition pressure, injuries, peer influence, and the fear of failing can lead young athletes down a dangerous path towards substance abuse. In Ogun State, sports leaders are advocating stronger grassroots awareness, consistent monitoring, and early drug testing to stop the issue from taking hold among young athletes. In this report, Olusegun Folari takes a look at this trend and the efforts being made by stakeholders to promote clean, drug-free sports.
For many young athletes in Ogun State, the dream is all about discovering their talents, winning competitions, and building successful careers in sport. As competition heats up, there is a growing concern that some athletes might resort to performance-enhancing drugs and other substances in their quest for better results. Sport administrators and practitioners emphasize that this challenge needs to be tackled right from the grassroots, where young athletes first get introduced to competitive sports. Speaking with Radio Nigeria in Abeokuta, the president, All Stars Football Club Abeokuta, who is also the chairman, Ogun State Youth Sports Federation of Nigeria, Alhaji Wahid Lawal, described the use of performance-enhancing drugs in sport as unacceptable. Alhaji Lawal noted that allowing drug-assisted performance would undermine the true spirit of sport and blurs the line between genuine talent and results achieved through banned substances.
During our playing days, there were some of our colleagues who were using drugs. Majority of us were not even open to usage of drugs. What we believe was our raw talent, how to exhibit it, and how to show everybody that we know how to play ball.
A sport developer and former basketball player, Falawo Adedeji, emphasized the need for stronger medical teams and proper facilities at competition sites to facilitate effective drug testing. Mr. Adedeji advocated creating a dedicated task force to keep an eye on doping during competitions and ensure that any suspicious cases are thoroughly investigated.
When we invest much money on the medical side on sports and has the facility for us to run a drug test constantly in each competition.
A Kung Fu coach, Linus Samuel, who condemned the use of performance-enhancing drugs, encouraged coaches and other stakeholders to intensify efforts towards educating the athletes on dangers of doping.
As a coach, we don't train athletes to be using drugs. Even especially during our own time, we are using our strength. It is not a future thing for the athletes because it will never make an athlete to last longer.
In a reaction, the head of sport medicine, Ogun State Sport Council, Mrs. Olashipo Abimbola, said there had never been a single case of athletes from the state testing positive for performance-enhancing drugs since joining the council in 2006.
I used to talk to them. I used to advise them. I used to give them examples of what will be the consequences of taking enhancing drugs.
Also speaking, the director of clinical psychology at the Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Aro, Abeokuta, Dr. Olarewaju Shodainde, identified peer pressure and unhealthy comparisons with other athletes as some of the reasons for substances misuse.
More still needs to be done, especially for the younger ones coming. Everybody wants to win, and this winning mentality that you have to win at all costs is a major problem.
Dr. Shodainde advised athletes to understand that winning should be achieved honorably, while failure should be regarded as an opportunity to learn and improve rather than a reason to resort to drugs. In Abeokuta, Olusegun Folarin, Radio Nigeria.
Okay, heart of the matter today is on checkmating the increasing numbers of fake agencies in Nigeria. It is written by Fauzia Kashim of our Current Affairs Unit.
Last week, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, uncovered another fake agency in the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume. According to the ICPC chairman, Dr. Musa Aliyu, the new fake agency was discovered as part of the ongoing investigation into the fake Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council, PFIPC, which was operated by Prince Adeyemi Adeniyi. This makes the fourth phony agency that the ICPC has uncovered in its just concluded 30 days investigation. On his part, President Bola Tinubu had ordered the suspension of 3 top officials identified as enablers and ordering the arrest of the front-runners. Although the commission said the organization operated without presidential authorization, documents show that it presented itself to state governments as an official federal initiative operating from the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, OSGF. Among the documents bearing the symbol of the presidency were a letter of appointment, approvals, and a series of correspondence to state governors seeking financial, land, and other forms of support. Aside from this, the agency has a dedicated website and state coordinators across the country, including the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. With the latest development, the questions to be asked are if the agency had been in existence since 2026, as claimed by the National Coordinator and Executive Director of the National Brands Development and Made in Nigeria Special Project Office, Mr. George Nwabweze, with documents to back his claims by the OSGF, such as the one conveying the approval of his appointment as National Coordinator and Executive Director of the Made in Nigeria project. Investigation shows that Prince Adeniyi in 2016 presented himself as an ambassador and president general of an association called the World Youth Organization, claiming affiliation with the United Nations until the UN itself denied such body. That a man with that history could walk into a federal ministry's premises and set up shop under a fake council's letterhead is an indictment of the institutional memory, or the lack of it, inside government agencies meant to guard against the sort of impersonation. It is important that ICPC should always be on its toes to discover more of such ministries, departments, and agencies of the federal government. The National Assembly also needs to take appropriate steps to ensure the integrity of the budgetary system, as it is absurd that a fictitious agency not backed by any law, a presidential instrument, an executive approval, or any other lawful authority can get a budgetary allocation enacted into law. It is pertinent that the federal government needs to order an investigation that runs alongside the court case One aimed directly at the officials in the office of the head of service, the office of the secretary to the government of the federation, the accountant general's office, and wherever else in the bureaucracy the scheme emanates from. A crime of this magnitude running for this long inside government buildings does not survive on the cunning of one impostor. It survives on the silence of everyone who should have stopped him but didn't. It behoves the government to find those people and ensure that heads roll, no matter whose ox is gored.
That script on checkmating the increasing numbers of fake agencies in Nigeria was written by Fauzia Kashim of our current affairs unit and delivered by Emilia Ojemudia.
Somewhere in the ancient city of Abeokuta, Ogun State, lies a rock which has attracted both local and international tourists. Let's join Lelian Ibomo for details.
If you have ever visited Abeokuta, one of the sights that is difficult to miss is Olumo Rock. Standing high above the city, the rock is more than just a beautiful tourist attraction. It is a place filled with history, stories and memories that have been passed down through generations. Located at the heart of Abeokuta, Ogun State, Olumo Rock has become one of the most popular landmarks in the city. The name Abeokuta itself is linked to the rock. In Yoruba, Abeokuta means under the rock, a name connected to the history of people who found shelter under the rock. Long before Abeokuta became the busy city we know today, Olumo Rock was believed to have played an important role in protecting people during periods of war and conflict. The rocks and caves provided a place where people could hide and seek safety. Walking around Olumo Rock today, it is easy to see why it would have served as a good hiding place. The rock is large, uneven, and filled with natural spaces. Some areas are now narrow and rocky, while others are open to beautiful views of the city. For visitors, climbing Olumo Rock can be both exciting and tiring, but the experience becomes worthwhile when you get to see Abeokuta from above.
That feature on Olumo Rock was written by an intern from Ajayi Crowther University, Oyo, Ayomide Adetunji.
And now to end the news on the world today from the Southwest Network of Radio Nigeria. Another look at the major items. Chief of Army Staff has urged commanders to strengthen efforts to combat insecurity. Enemy tasked doctors and fight against quackery. President Trump's orders lowering of flags to honor Dolly Parton, and stakeholders caution athletes against performance-enhancing drugs.
And that's it on the world today. Do join us tomorrow for a fresh edition of the program. Rashida Makinde edited. My name is Olubukola Enimola. Thank you for joining us, and from my colleague
Feyi Shara Owomoyela. Good afternoon. We join our network studio shortly for the next program.